I don't want to talk about guns, but there was a day not very long ago where in one day, 3 different campuses in the United States were the sites of gun violence. And then just recently, we had a debate between the Democratic candidates for the President of the United States, and guns were brought up, and I think again, they were not talked about in the right way. Now, I'm not a journalist, I'm not a lawyer presenting a case, I'm not a scientist offering up a paper for peer review. These are just my thoughts today, right now. Keep those things in mind, please. And let's talk about how we should talk about gun violence. Hello, Paul Talkers and other viewers. My name is Paul Roth. This is Where Paul Talks. And today, we're going to tackle that gun topic. When I was much younger, I was in favor of things like capital punishment. I was in favor of police shooting criminals so that they wouldn't have to populate our jails. I didn't understand that the victims of gun violence are human beings whose lives have value, just like all other human beings. In recent years, I've seen news events unfold wherein there are the victims of gun violence due to Islamophobia, racism, transphobia, misogyny, sexism. They are all horrible, and in each of these instances, journalists and politicians and predominantly conservative people respond with the idea that every other thing should be dealt with besides the guns. It is true that the direct cause for an instance of gun violence might be different from case to case. Sometimes it is that Islamophobia. Sometimes it is racism. Sometimes it is homophobia. Sometimes, so often, it is flippin' Reddit. But there is a consistent thing in all of these cases. The guns. There are a lot of things that we can do to reduce overall violence in our country. We can tackle these various forms of hate. We can provide greater free education to everybody of every background in our country. And those are all things that we should do. But the problem that keeps causing gun-related deaths to occur is that everybody can get a gun. And while I am 100% in favor of better mental health services in this country, and in fact everywhere in the world, that concern of mine is wholly separate from and unrelated to my concern about all the gun-related deaths. Most violence that happens with people who are mentally ill is that they are the victims of it. They don't cause it. More people than you realize in this country have some form of mental illness. Some forms are severe, some forms are not severe, and practically 0% of them will ever fire a gun. So if it's not because of mental illness that all these gun deaths are happening, why are they happening? Our society is okay with gun violence. You can see it in every news article. You can hear it from every politician. You witness it in TV shows and movies and read about it in books. That gun deaths, gun violence are inevitable. They are just a thing that happens. And if that were something that only one person said, and they got that idea from nowhere, yes, I would question their ability to come to rational conclusions. But if this is the information that our entire society is providing to everybody here, if this is what all of our children are being taught constantly, then it is not a symptom of mental illness to believe the things that you are taught. Now you might feel like stopping me right here and saying, Paul, you are just pointing out the different things that we should stop besides guns. We should stop the phobias. We should stop the online hate groups. Those would be great things to do. If you want to do those things, that is fantastic. Anything that we do is going to take time, and if we still have lots of guns around, the sheer volume of guns in our country is what makes it likely that every single day somebody will be shot, somebody will be killed. Everyone who's not in the United States knows this. Australians are stereotyped as being wild and crazy and violent, and they live in a place where all the animals around them could kill them, and yet even they have realized having tons of guns all over the place is a bad idea for human life. Let's not get rid of them all, but let's definitely put into place common sense restrictions. You know what happened when Australia did that? They stopped having mass shootings. Every single person in our government should be behind the idea that guns need to be reduced drastically for everyone. Every Democratic candidate should want to get guns off the street. Every Republican candidate should want to get guns off the street. Every single person involved in government should very logically think, if someone has a gun, then we should know about it as the United States government, so they should be licensed to have that gun, and not everybody in the country needs to have a gun in their possession. If you want to go to a gun range, use a gun there, fantastic. If you want to have a hunting rifle that takes a little while to load, that fires one shot at a time, and you want to use that to hunt animals, I am not on your side, but I believe that you have that right. Pretty much every other gun doesn't need to be out there. And if you think that you want a gun and that your desire for a gun is more important than any other human life that is at risk because you think that there should be legislation that allows you to have a gun if you want it, you are wrong. Your choice to have a gun is not more important than the lives that will be ended because of guns. So my goal in making this video was to say, how should we talk about guns? Here's how we should talk about them. Guns do kill people. Gun violence is not a fact of life. It is something that we, as the United States citizens, keep on saying is okay. We can stop doing that. And when we do that, then all of a sudden they won't be a fact of life anymore. The right way to talk about guns is to stop compromising. No more guns. Every politician I vote for should say, no more guns. Every presidential candidate should say, no more guns. The NRA, gun lobbyists, gun manufacturers, these should not be the people running our country. We should be running our country, because it's ours. You are welcome to come into my comments and tell me how you disagree with me and how you think that there is a different way in which we can drastically reduce gun deaths in the United States. If you are a jerk, I will block and ban you. But if you are not a jerk and can find a different way to reduce gun deaths, please let me know. Certainly if you agree with me, you can chime in as well. Or tell me anything that matters to you, because I want to know what matters to you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That will bring it to more viewers' attention. Or you can just share this video with other viewers. That would be great. To see links to my last video or my next video, you can go to the cards that are linked up there. Thank you for making it to the end of my video. The end of my vlogs is where I always say, tomorrow will be even better.